Welcome to the Top Listing Agent Show, the place to be to stay on the cutting edge of what it takes to sell more homes in less time. Each week, your host, Chadi Bazzi, will share with you the best skill sets, systems, and strategies so you can become a top listing agent. And now, let the show begin.
Hey there, it's Chadi Bazzi, and welcome to the Top Listing Agent Show. This is episode number 14, and I'm going to begin this by saying thank you very much for taking out the time every single week to watch these videos. I appreciate the feedback that you've been giving me. If you haven't already done so, the previous 13 episodes were definitely on fire. We had some killer interviews that you definitely need to listen to of individuals who may be in the same shoes that you are in right now, who have been exposed to some of the principles that I'm trying to expose you to, and the teachings and the strategies, the skill sets and the mindsets, and they've actually been able to apply them and succeed at a very high level and become a top listing agent. And obviously you're listening to this because you want to become a top listing agent. And this week, like every single week, I'm bringing you a very specific training, a very specific topic. And the reason I've chosen this topic today is because, I've been bombarded with, the audience asking me a question is, if we were to go into a day of a top listing agent, how can we find out what their daily schedule looks like, etc. I was like, before we even think about the daily schedule, what we need to do is think about the bigger agenda, the bigger goal. And I'm not gonna, talk about a 1 year out or a 5 year out. I'm just gonna talk about a 1 week out. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to get in the mentality of, planning your week every single week in advance. See, most people, what they do is they're like, oh my God, next week I'm gonna, I'm gonna kill it, and I'm gonna set that many appointments, and I'm gonna do that many things, and it's just a conversation in their head. That's all it is. It's a conversation in their head that justifies their lack of results from the previous week. Okay, that's exactly what it does, and people, that's what they're good at. They're good at justifying things to just get themselves to feel better in that moment. See, it's not just about getting yourself to feel better in that moment. What you gotta do is you gotta do something in this moment to make yourself feel better in every single moment here on after. And that's exactly what a top listing agent does. So what I want you to do is I'm gonna give you about a four-step process, and I'm gonna break it down to the specifics. And this is something that, all the top listing agents that I personally work with on a personal basis, they do this every single week. So the first thing I want you to do right now is I want you to, make a commitment, like, put a timer in your schedule that reminds you every single Sunday evening. I personally do it every single Sunday evening. I recommend you do it every single Sunday evening. And what you want to do is you want to block out a good 20, 30 minutes. It shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes to plan out your whole entire week. And then you want to follow this very specific structure that I want you to follow. And you could use a notepad for that. You could use your computer, you can use an iPad, an iPhone, whatever device you want to use, it doesn't matter. I personally like to use the pen and the paper, okay? And I begin by answering this, I begin by doing this. So let's get into the steps. Step number one, what I want you to do is, I want you to set your goals for the week. Set your goals for the week. Now, that's still a general term when I say set your goals for the week. And people don't like general because when something is not specific enough, they get in the mentality of, overwhelm. Okay, well, what kind of goal? How do I set the goal? So let me get very specific with you right now. As a top listing agent, I want you to set goals in 3 of the most important areas every single week. Okay. And now I'm even going to get a little bit more specific, and I'm going to give it to you specifically in the order that you should set the goal. So the first area that I want you to set a goal in is in the personal area. Let's call it me goal. You want to set a me goal. A me goal is a goal for you. It has nothing to do with your family. It has nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with friends. It has nothing to do with anyone. It's a me goal. who is the most important person in your life? Some people will say, you know, my significant other, my spouse, my mommy, my daddy, my siblings, my best friend, etc. Look, the most important person in your life should be you. Because when you're able to take care of you at a very high level, then you are a better friend, a better significant other, a better parent, a better anything else. So I want you to get in the mentality of setting specific me goals first. Take care of yourself first so you can take care of everyone who relies on you for emotional support, financial support, and everything else. So set your goals for the me area. I don't know what your goals may be. For example, if I were to set a me goal right now, I'd probably set a goal for this week for me maybe to lose 1 pound. I don't know. Okay. Actually, that may be a good goal for me. I should set a goal to lose 2 pounds. Okay. Look at me. I mean, I got to lose 2 pounds. But whatever it is for you, that's what it is for you. So let's set a me goal, you know, and it could be more than one goal. But, you know, I'm going to caution you and say, don't go ahead and set 20 goals. You want to set a maximum, you want to set a minimum of 1 me goal and a maximum of 3 me goals. Okay, minimum 1, maximum 3. So under area number 1, you know, where we set goals, you're going to set first A in the me area. 2 or B, you want to set goals in the area of family. Okay, whatever that might be for you is, it could be a date night. It could be spend a specific amount of time with your children. You know, speak to look, whatever it is for you, that's what it is for you. Whatever is important to you is important to you. And so set family goals B. So that's 1B is family goals, minimum 1, maximum 3. And then the third area, which is C, is write down business. Minimum 1 big business goal to a maximum of 3 big business goals. So you got to write down your goals in those 3 areas. You just write them down. Don't worry about how you're going to accomplish them. Don't worry about anything else. Just write down goals in the area of me personally, in the area of family, and then in the area of business. So now we just completed step number 1. So now let's move on to step number 2. Step number 2, write down the following. Okay. Identify 3 action steps, minimum of 3 action steps to reach the goal. Or better yet, it doesn't matter what or how many action steps it's going to be. I put down 3 because I want you to think. See, a lot of people say, I just got to do this. You know, I don't want you to just think I got to do this. I want you to really think about this. See, do all the thinking in advance. Do all the hard work once. You don't want to try to figure this stuff out while you are going through the week, because you know, you'll be like, okay, well, I set these goals, and now Monday comes around, and you're like, okay, I got to accomplish these goals. But then again, it's like, how do I accomplish these goals? See, you've never taken the time out to think about it, and that's why now you got to think about it. And just the thought of it may be so overwhelming in that moment that you might not even take action. You just say, oh, well, next Monday I'll start all over again. You know what I'm talking about? That's how average people think. If you don't want to be average and you want to be a top listing agent, you got to start following in the order that I'm teaching you right now. Okay, so what you do is you identify the action steps to reach every single one of the goals that you've set. So you take a look at the me goal. You say, what action steps do I need to take this week in order for me to accomplish this goal? Take a look at the family goals. What action steps do I need to follow in order for me to reach that goal? You take a look at the business goals and you say, what action steps do I need to follow in order for me to reach those goals? So now look at that. You've got every single action step you got to take to reach the goal, which now brings us to step number 3. What is step number 3? It's simply take every single action step. Like pull out your calendar, whether it's your weekly calendar for the upcoming week, whether it's on your computer, on your mobile device, on your tablet, on, paper, whatever. It doesn't matter what kind of device you use. Just grab your calendar, which should be blank for the most part. Like 95% of it, should be blank unless you have appointments already set. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, here are the me activities that I got to engage in order for me to reach my me goals. That's the first thing you plug into your schedule is the me goals. That's the first thing. And then the second thing that you do is you take all the family action steps and then you plug them in whatever time is still left over in your schedule. And then you take all the business activities and then you plug them into your schedule. Now you got a complete schedule filled with every single important action step you got to take the following week in order for you to accomplish your goals. Look, I guarantee you right now, 99% of you who are watching this video and or listening to this podcast, you've never done an exercise like that. You've never began a week with that much specific action steps outlined in advance for you to follow through on in order for you to do it. So guys, listen, this is the top listing agent way. Now let's talk about the normal person, everyday person way, which we don't want you to be in that category. The normal person way is this, the schedule. That person does everything they possibly can to grow their business every single day. So they work on their business first. And then if they have any time, what do? They spend it with their family. And then if there's any time left, then they go work on themselves and do something for themselves. So they spend so much time in the business, they neglect their family and they totally neglect themselves. And that's why we have such a high failure rate in this business. Top listing agents, the people that you want to be like, the people who are successful in every single way, what do? They work on themselves first. They do everything they possibly can to not lose their most important time and treasure, which is their family. So they're at peace with themselves. They're in peak physical condition. They have high energy because they work on themselves, and because they are so present, they're able to spend quality time with their family. Quality time with their family. So look, if you are at peace with yourself, if you're at peace with your family, then guess what happens when you go to work? You don't think about anything else. You're 100% focused on your job. And that's how you become super productive, super effective, super efficient, super successful. Guys, it's that simple. This is one of those videos and or podcasts that you want to listen to more than one time. And this is a habit that you want to create for yourself for every single week here on forward. Follow through on these strategies and I promise you that you too will become a top listing agent. Thank you very much for watching and or listening to this podcast, episode number 14 with your host, Chadi Bazzi. If you haven't already done so, please go to iTunes and leave us a positive rating and a positive review. Would really appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, hey, leave us a comment, ask us a question. Is there a specific topic you want me to do a video about in the future? Let me know. Regardless, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.